Good afternoon, myself, Keaton McAfee, along with my colleagues,
Brett Costello,
Caitlin McClay,
and Pedro Egidio.
are members of the Rotary Cove Consultants, and today we are here to analyze Rotary Cove Beach.
Well, the summer of 2010 is approaching, and the branch manager of the Goderich Huron YMCA, Anne Mary Thompson, decided to take a look at the Rotary Cove Beach financial strategies. With very limited revenue options, she has to take a decision that is coherent with the YMCA's mission statement and that guarantees the Cove's upcoming year financial stability.
Situation analysis. So, ownership and management. The YMCA Goderich Huron branch is run by the local YMCA. Branch manager Anne Marie Thompson is responsible for overseeing all operations of Rotary Cove Beach, and the council is responsible for making all decisions that pertain to the beach. So Anne Marie Thompson is responsible for creating proposals to give to the council to benefit the beach in the long run. And everyone that is involved with the Cove wants the beach to be more financially stable.
all right, for their mission statement. So in 2003, Rotary Cove Beach was taken over by the YMCA under the Goderich Huron branch, and their mission statement is as follows. Our YMCA is a charity dedicated to the enrichment of community through growth and development of people in mind, spirit, and body. And they have been consistent with this mission statement through programs and facilities they have, like their skating rink, wellness center, aquatic center, and full-size gym. All right, now for their current strategy. So, the Rotary Cove Beach is looking for a way to cut their net losses and earn more than the $20,000 grant they are earning from the City Council annually. So, starting with their advertisement, so they are doing minimum advertisement only through word of mouth and through tourism centers. However, through these methods, they are known as a very family-friendly, safe beach. They keep this reputation by having lifeguards on from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily, and we're highly trained. And also, they are the only beach in Goderich to provide water conditions, temperature, and have life jackets for children. As well, they have a playground and an ice cream hut. They also like to hold events like fireworks for special occasions and performances like the Celtic Blue Highlanders to draw people down to their waterfront. It costs little to no money to attend the beach, so it's open to all groups of families. And in regards to competition outside of Goderich, there is Port Stanley and Grand Bend, who do have nightclubs, restaurants, and pubs over Goderich. As well, there are public beaches that people who want to avoid the masses of people have.
As far as financial position, it is known that YMCA all over the planet is a not-for-profit organization, and all their facilities in town are funded through the payment of membership fees. Although the Rotary Cove Beach does not have any source of revenue, so it relies on tax-paying money received from the council. By 2009, they had a $14,000 net loss, which led them to receive a $20,000 donation from the town council in order to fund this summer's operation.
So for the current markets, there's locals and tourists and a lot of low-income families, as well as families with active children and people who are interested in health and wellness. A lot of the current markets are low-income groups, so they don't spend as much money in the town of Goderich as high-income groups. But those who are paying for accommodations, who want to visit the beach more than one day, will pay for accommodations. And many people are attracted to the Cove because it's not a party beach and it's good for families, but party beaches tend to generate money from drink sales. For the industry and competition, within Goderich there's 3 beaches. St. Christopher is the main beach and the Rotary Cove Beach, owned by the YMCA. And just outside of Goderich, there's Port Stanley and Grand Bend, who are more expensive beaches. There's also Point Clark Beach and Station Beach, located near Kincardine, Ontario, and in Point Clark, Ontario. Kincardine is a much more popular destination for tourists than Goderich.
The key success factors. So the most successful beaches in this industry have numerous tactics they use to draw in more customers. So nearby Point Stanley Beach and Point Stanley, Ontario advertises its other local attractions that it has, so seasonal events, local amenities and accommodations, and as well Grand Bend advertises the similar accommodations and such as Point Stanley, but it also provides a lot of advertising for its adventure packages, so such as skydiving, sailing, sea doing, and such. They advertise that to families especially. Necessary resources to be successful in the industry are lifeguards, public washrooms, and accessible parking. And the competitive advantage that Rotary Cove Beach has over its competitors is that it's a cheap and a fun destination for anyone, specifically families.
For the SWOT analysis, we can see a couple of strengths, a couple of things that Rotary Cove is doing right. You can see that they employ the best and most experienced lifeguards possible. They have a good financial management even though they don't have revenue streams, and they're free access beach. Some things they're not doing right is the lack of revenue sources again, and the bad publicity generated from the 2005 incident. A couple of opportunities they should attack is the fact that Go Reach is a big touristic destination. They should explore more the waterfront commerce, considering they only have one ice cream stand at the location, and they should try to expand the beaches facilities such as the playgrounds. A couple of things that might be a problem for the Rotary Cove is the proximity for other communities and private beaches, and possible discontinuity of public funding from the town council.
All right, so the presentation of our options. So option number 1 is the student run model. And so in this option, Thompson is suggesting that they turn the beach operations over to a budding entrepreneurial student. So this would entail giving the $20,000 grant instead to the student rather than the YMCA to run beach operations.
So option number 2 is outsourcing operations. So Thompson is looking at including a private firm and investing in the operations of Rotary Cove Beach. They would pay council a one-time fee, and they would own all the rights to the operations of Rotary Cove Beach. And for option number 3 is to charge admission of a small fee between 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. and hire a staff member to admit patrons.
Option number 4 is installation of volleyball courts. So the Rotary Cove would install 2 new volleyball courts on its sandy beaches, and it would use the volleyball courts as a way to create more revenue by having volleyball camps in the summer for kids.
All right, and option 5 is status quo, and so that basically entails that no changes will be made and beach operations will continue as they are now.
As far as the decision criteria, first one's cost of implementation. The Rotary Cove Beach is running on a tight budget, and it relies deeply on the council's money. So the cost of an option is an extremely relevant factor. Each option is going to be assessed by its cost of implementation again, and in order for an option to be considered ideal, it has to be cheaper than $20,000.
Adheres to core values and missions. So the Rotary Cove Beach is run by the local YMCA, which has core values that it strictly follows. So in order for an option to be considered, it must follow all of the characteristics of the mission statement, and each option will be rated from 1 to 5, with 1 being poor and 5 being excellent. And in order for an option to be considered, it must have a rating of 3 or higher.
Impact on public interest. The town of Goderich deeply relies on the attendance for the Rotary Cove Beach. So maintaining and improving this attendance is something extremely necessary. Each option is going to be assessed by the amount of tourists the town of Goderich attracts during the summer months, and in order for an option to be considered ideal, it has to attract at least 10,000 more people during the season. Here's a graph that shows the decrease of attendance due to the beach from 2006 to the year 2009. We see almost 20,000 less people.
Time to implement. So the summer is fast approaching, and therefore an option that allows the YMCA to obtain the result they expect must be achieved within a short time frame. Each option will be measured in number of weeks to complete, and in order for an option to be recommended and considered, it must be able to be completed in 3 weeks or less.
Profitability. Due to the fact that they don't have revenue streams, they continue on a net loss. Rotary Cove Beach needs to get back on tracking and start earning profits. Each option is going to be assessed by the amount of income earned for the months of June, July, and August, and an option to be considered. A good one has to earn a profit bigger than $20,000 during the summer.
So the evaluation of options. So back to our student run model. So for pros, it does relieve Thompson of her beach operation duties, which gives her more time with the YMCA. As well, an option within the option is to purchase new beach equipment, and then that could generate sales for Rotary Cove Beach if the student wanted to take part in selling. For cons, time is running out and students are already looking and obtaining jobs, and so that can make the pool they are picking from smaller. Also, YMCA would have to buy $1,000 worth of equipment if they did decide to go forth with that idea for safety standards. As well, a student may not run the beach operations as efficiently as Thompson would because of inexperience.
So for option number 2, outsourcing operations, the pros are that it could earn up to $30,000 in revenue. Extra income is generated from beach toys, umbrellas, and chairs. And the private company would likely pay council a one-time fee. The private company would also be liable for all the operations, and they would have a $3,000 liability insurance. And additionally, the YMCA gets 15% of the revenue. For the cons, the council will lose, YMCA and the council will lose control of the beach, and it will go from a non-profit organization to being owned by a for-profit organization. For option number 3, charging admission, the pros are that Thompson thinks that patrons will pay the fee, and extra money will go towards advertising, about $5,000, and admission is likely to cover all the costs of operation. And for cons, they have to pay another staff member, they have to rent a booth for about $3,500, and the estimated costs of display material is $2,000, and some tourists and local residents will not want to pay the fee.
Option number 4 is the installation of volleyball courts. Pros for this option were the possibility that it will attract more tourists to the beach, the ability to satisfy the mission of the YMCA and its core values, and the possibility of making extra revenue from the volleyball camps held in the summer. Cons of this option include the cost of implementing the volleyball courts is relatively costly compared to the budget that the YMCA and the Rotary Cove Beach had to deal with. Cost of having to fix the nets in courts yearly due to weather damage and seasonal damage will be quite costly, and the extra responsibility of the YMCA as they now have to organize and run the volleyball camps during the summer.
And option number 5, status quo. So for pros, there's no risk of losing money from an option that didn't work out. As well, there's no cost of implementation. Also, that the YMCA would be sticking to their core values. For cons, they would be earning no extra profit, as well as if they were trying to raise wages or get new equipment and uniforms like they are, it's going to be very hard on such a small budget. The council may be cutting their budget by quite a bit, so that could impact how they do, and there would be no impact on public interest as well.
Here's the evaluation matrix kind of summarizing everything that we said. Other than the options are going to be free, installing the volleyball courts would be the most affordable one. Running the student model and also installing the volleyball courts, which are going to be the best ones when it comes to adherence of the core value. Both as well, the run model, student run model, and the volleyball courts would attract more people, except for the status quo, obviously. Installing the volleyball courts would also be the quicker, and again, within the student run model, it would be the one that could generate a better profit for the town of Cove Ridge.
So the recommendation and rationale, Rotary Cove Consultants is recommending that Rotary Cove Beach install the 2 volleyball courts. This is because installing the volleyball courts at the beach will generate more revenue through the running of the summer volleyball camps for kids. The option will only cost $550, which is far less than some of the other options listed. And it is far less than an anticipated profit of more than $20,000. This option adheres to the core values of the YMCA as they're promoting good health in young kids. And it increases tourism in the town of Goderich by $15,000. And as well, the volleyball courts will take 11 days to install, which is within the time frame that they are looking at.
Alright, so here is our implementation plan. So it starts on May 1st, 2010, and so we're first of all hiring the labor force. The branch manager is responsible for this, and this should take 1 to 2 days. Then we're going to be demarcating playing areas in court dimensions, which should take a day. Labor force is responsible for that. Then purchasing the equipment 1 day as well, that's back to the branch manager. And then preparing the site should be 1 to 2 days. Beginning construction should be 1 day, and installing equipment should be 1 to 2 days. And that is all the labor force is responsible for all of that, and so that's over the 11-day time frame. And then here's a Gantt chart of the volleyball court construction. As you can see, it does not take long to complete.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Done.